This is a good segue though, because you had a Michigan State topic you wanted today. You want to tee this one up?
Yeah, so, of course, Michigan State losses always send me into somewhat of a tailspin of thought. And usually those thoughts provoke some ideas. And because of what happened last night, I was just thinking about you sent me some stats on what the 4 years of Michigan State basketball has looked like with AJ Hoggard and Malik Hall as like the senior guys. Like this is the core that Coach Izzo has ridden into this year with. And that got me thinking, like, okay, what's it going to look like once those guys are gone? Because both those guys are probably gone after the season, unless I think AJ might have a COVID year. I'm not really sure how that thing works. But it had me thinking on paper next year, what is Michigan State's lineup? Because is Izzo going to add somebody in the portal? Probably not. The way he talks about it and the way he doesn't want to be involved with it, I'm not banking on him to do that. So next year you're looking at a lineup that is who knows what if Jay Nakins comes back. I don't know, but let's say the lineup is let's go Fears Akins, Tang, uh, like Xavier Booker, Madi? Like what does that lineup look like next year? I'm just looking to next season, and I like Kurt Tang. I think Jace Richardson could be a piece. They have some other like I think McCullough's gonna be a project, but like he'll be good. Garrett Norman too, I think will be a big piece for next season. Don't know what that's gonna look like, but I think he's gonna factor into the rotation next year. Is the outlook of Michigan State next year kind of bleak? With if we do nothing over the summer, like put it in like we there's no ads, no nothing, and we go into next season with this core without Tyson Walker, without AJ Hoggard, and without Malik Hall. What does this team look like next season? Because this team's struggling right now with quote unquote veteran guys in the fold. So you take those guys out, and especially you take Tyson Walker out. What does this team look like?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. On paper, I'm scared. On paper, it's scary because I don't think there is a reasonable way to expect that next year's team is better than this year's team. Um, now I have completely flipped on this because I've been saying for 3 years, you knew this. The year to keep an eye out on Michigan State is the year after AJ leaves. I've been saying that this whole time because my expectation was that the roster next year was going to be Fears, Tang, Carr, Booker, Akins. And Akins is going to be a superstar. Fears is going to be ready. Now I still think on paper that would work because you have shooting in Akins and Tang. If Fears is ready to run the show, obviously he got hit with a disaster, horrible moment in life that has set all of this back. But I think like there was a path to like it's Jeremy Fears' team next year, and everyone's very excited about that. So the curveball has been that Booker and Carr are barely playable right now, and that was supposed to be your star front court team next year. So I think you have to sort of reset this because I think as Tom Izzo has shown, um, he's gonna play his vets, even if his vets lack talent or lack consistency. Like Malik Hall's not going anywhere. AJ Hogarth's not going anywhere. Those guys have been about AJ got better, but over the course of the season, they've had about as low of lows as you can have, and nothing's really changed. So I don't think Mady Sissoko's going anywhere is the point. Like he's going to start at center as long as Mady Sissoko's on this team. And you still have a lot of bigs. Like it's not like Izzo needs to go get a center when he thinks he has Mady and Cooper and Jackson and maybe Booker next year. Like he's not upgrading a center spot. So you're entering the season with the same poor play at the 5. And I think the guard spot looks worse because Tyson Walker's gone. No matter who's back there, even if you like Fears and Holloman and Akins as a backcourt, like this backcourt's bad if you remove Tyson Walker, right? Like
Yeah.
so
It's very dependent on guys taking jumps, and that scares me.
the big question is what happens at the 4 because assuming Malik Hall's gone, he doesn't come back, does he? Isn't there a COVID year for him if he wants it?
I think so, but I don't think he comes back. I'm actually pretty confident that like Hogard, Hall, gone.
Oh my God, another year of Hogard and Hall would be a lot.
Maybe I don't know if I could do it
It'd just be a lot. So if Hall's gone though, isn't the answer just Cohen Carr?
at the four. At the four, yeah,
So is a Cohen Carr, Madi Sissoko front court gonna work?
probably not.
That's Cart, that's the worst spacing a team could possibly have. And you're telling me you're gonna need Cohen in like a 30-minute role next
Right.
to a big? Like,
I'd rather go. I mean, assuming we maybe somehow, for the grace of God, keep Booker, that would be great, and he's improves. But I would even want like Jackson next to Cohen Carr
yeah.
instead of Madi.
You have to play a shooting threat at the five next to Cohen. You have to. Otherwise, everything is screwed up.
Isn't
So
it like isn't it? I hate like simplifying things because life is never easy and it's never as easy as just talking it out. But like one of the greatest coaches of all time, he knows what Cohen Carr can do. He should know like what looks good next to him, right?
yeah, but you don't have the personnel right now.
He can there if only there was someone that could change that.
I don't know, man. What's your general, obviously we think the direction of the program is sort of stagnant right now, but um what's your general sense on this? Like, are you happy with where things are headed? Are you
Not necessarily, but I always had it like in the back of my head that like I think that for as good as AJ's played the last month, I think like we need to just like rid ourselves. It sounds bad, but like we need to move on from the AJ Hogard and Malik Hall like core
yeah.
type years.
So so
It's just time to move on. And
so
is it going to look bad next season? It might, but we got to just move on.
somebody said that to me in the Discord, and I think it's a fair point. I think it's a totally fair point. Uh, this player I'm about to reference was a way better player than AJ Hogard, but I did this all last year. You heard me do it all last year. I couldn't wait until after Hunter Dickinson was out because it was just time to move on. The antics were too much. The inconsistency was too much. The blaming was too much. Like, just let's get him out. And maybe there's a relieving effect of losing Hunter Dickinson. I was on board with that until I saw Terrace Reed play 30 minutes in a game. So I feel like there's an element of that with AJ where like we're all ready to move on from him. It's gonna just be better just having him out. And then you're gonna get to game one, and Trey Holloman's gonna be your starting point guard. We're gonna see how that goes. Like, I don't know. And Trey might be really good. I could be wrong, but I just think like on paper, if the expectation is there's a step forward for a team without Tyson Walker and AJ Hogard, I think that's really, really scary.
Fear's jump is massive, and the setback that he had is scary.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be risking on that, which is you just feel horrible because it's not his fault, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The other thing, just a couple things specific to next year's roster. I would bet my life. I think Kurtang's skill set is something this team desperately needs. Like, I think you could drop Kurtang on this team right now and he would matter for this team.
Yeah.
Uh, they need shooting. He's an elite shooter. With that said, I would bet my life Cohen Carr plays like 25 minutes a game at the three next year, and Kurtang barely gets off the bench.
We don't need that.
Isn't that what he does though? Like, he's been playing guys down a position instead of up a position while not giving freshmen chances and complaining that they're not ready. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if there's a freshman next year in a big role. I just would. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what that does. Like, say honestly, kind of same with Normand. Like, I don't really think Norman's going to come off a red shirt and like play 20 minutes next year.
I mean, on paper, there was going to be minutes for him.
Maybe. The dumb thing is like he should just portal, man. And I know he's gonna bitch about it, but like the best two players on this team the last 4 years came from the portal. Go get another Hauser. Go get another Walker.
Yeah. They're out there.
They're out there, and they would come. And Izzo's done it. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like he doesn't do it because he's literally done it. He just needs to do it again. I don't get it. We'll see. Do you want any of my numbers I texted you shared in this segment, or do you want to wait on
No,
those? Okay.
no.
Just say, keep an eye on my Twitter. I think I might have some tweets on the Hogard and Hall era and Michigan State team performance because it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Not great, Bob.
This team's success has been closer to Penn State than it has been to Iowa in the 4-year stretch of AJ Hogard and Malik Hall. And like,
Yay.
yes, the run in March that was a great 2-win Sweet 16 that you had. That was great. I don't know.